Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Happy Pessimist Leftist. And yeah, if this harmless joke offends you, then feel free to smash that like button. Um, I don't know who that guy is, by the way. I just saw the image and thought it was hilarious. And I'm not really trying to teach gender equality. Just thought this was somewhat relevant to what I'm about to argue. So let's do it, right? Let's get into it. And disclaimer, um, I am talking in this video, I'm talking about a very specific mentality that exists within the feminist movement. I understand that not all feminists feel this way, or feel as strongly about this subject. Um, and I am not trying to make broad, sweeping generalizations, although it may come across that way at times. It may, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is when slash if I do speak broadly, uh, I'm doing so solely for simplicity's sake, right? Since I don't feel like constantly putting, but not all of them, but not all feminists, I don't feel like saying that every other line. But anyways, now that I got that out of the way, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so I'd like to talk about feminism and its gripes with female sexual objectification. What is objectification, anyways? So I looked it up. I mean, I know what it meant. I know what it means, but I just decided to just look it up again, just to refine this point. I looked up the exact definition, and the definition includes This includes treating a person as a tool for the objectifier's purposes, as lacking in autonomy and self-determination, as lacking in agency, as interchangeable with other objects, right, as lacking in boundary and integrity, and as something that is owned by another or can be bought or sold, right? Moving on here with these images. So there's the male gaze. So so yeah, and what do many feminists like to point out? The the objectification of women in media, advertising, Playboy magazine, strippers, female portrayals in gaming, fantasy, anime, comics, art, sex robots, sex dolls, women in cinema, escort services, pornography. I'm probably going to butcher this one. Neotimori. Okay, so basically eating sushi off a naked woman, basically. Modeling, the beauty industry, blah, 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 blah. basically anything involving the male gaze, okay? But what are some ways that all of us in modern society, including feminists, do that objectify others nearly every single day? Now, remember that objectification includes using someone as a tool for the objectifier's purposes, as interchangeable with other objects, as something that is owned by another, can be bought or sold, like how professional athletes and sports teams often are, cha-ching. This is the type of language many feminists use when arguing that the objectification of women is wrong, right? This is the type of language many feminists use when arguing that the objectification of women is wrong. That's the type of language they use when they describe that and justify that it's wrong. So But here's the problem with that. Okay, technically, if that's what we're going on, technically, um, whenever a feminist goes out to eat at a restaurant, she or he is objectifying their server, right? I say he or she because men can be feminists too. Okay, moving on. Every time a feminist goes out to get groceries, right? Or I don't know, fast food. Every time they go grocery shopping or go to a fast food drive-through, they are objectifying their cashiers, right? Excuse me. Every time they hire movers to move his or her furniture from place A to place B, they are technically, by that definition, objectifying as well. Or every time they hire a plumber, or every time they hire pest control, and or a carpenter, right? Or a hotel maid. Not really hire a hotel maid, but you go to a hotel and then they're there to service you. They're there to serve you while you chill out, right? Yeah. Like the rest of us, feminists are always objectifying someone, man or woman, okay? Because remember, when you objectify someone, you are using them as a tool for your purposes, whatever that may be. Ultimately, you really don't give a crap about your cashier or your carpenter as an individual. You don't give a crap about who these people are as individuals or as human beings. They are there to serve you. They are there to serve you. And guess what? And guess what? That's okay. That's okay. So why is it that when women are involved and sex is involved, that objectifying someone is now suddenly an immoral and unethical act by many feminists, right? Where is the feminist outrage on low-wage workers who are being used by big corporations as objects for profit making, right? Or, where is the outrage of simply hiring someone to do a service and treating them as nothing more than a means to an end, which we all do? If you ask me, the major flaw in these feminist arguments is that it's selective outrage. Okay, I live with my girlfriend. We do certain chores. Some chores, one of us does more than the other. Every time the lawn needs to be mowed, you could argue that I'm being objectified. And guess what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Now, mind you, when I'm saying sexual objectification is okay, because I very strongly believe that it is, I'm not talking about rape. I'm not talking about sex trafficking. I'm not talking about child molestation or child sex trafficking, etc. Right? Those are things that I'm not talking about. But what am I talking about? I am talking about the willing participants in society of legal age that use their bodies and sex appeal for commercial purposes, whether it's for marketing, right, or to provide a service such as male entertainment. Okay. I think many of us are tired, exhausted of of certain feminists complaining and hearing them say things like, oh my gosh, look at that billboard. That, sexy model with her large butt who is paid to do a job is being objectified. Oh my God, disgusting. Or those disgusting action movies or video games where the women are portrayed as nothing more than sex objects with their tight, revealing outfits and unrealistic blah, 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 blah. Those things should be banned. Those things should be banned. Meanwhile, the very same people those very same feminists are participating in other forms of objectification, with the only difference being that it doesn't include female bodies and sex. Somehow those additions make objectifying suddenly an issue. Why do those distinctions make it worse? Why do those distinctions make things worse in your eyes? What it comes down to is that all of us objectify, okay? Like it or not, it comes down to that. All of us objectify others in one way or another. And no, it does not make you some sort of oppressor. It does not make you some sort of, if you're not hurting anyone or taking someone's freedom away, then what's the problem? No, seriously. No, if you're one of these types of feminists and you're watching this, this is a legitimate question. I'm asking you, seriously, what is the problem? And for some, maybe for some feminists, their reasons behind it could be, that they're insecure. I don't know. But just because female portrayals in media and marketing makes you feel insecure about yourself doesn't mean it should be taken away from others who do enjoy it, who do enjoy, visualizing those things. And this may sound harsh, but your insecurity is not society's problem. That's for you to deal with and for you to figure out on your own. Put your big girl pants on, that's on you to deal with. That's on you. If you ask me, this gives feminism a bad rep, this type of behavior. And it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, it doesn't. I'm not invested in this movement, but it does not have to be that way, this way, because I truly believe it's why many people, including myself, can no longer get behind the movement. And, I haven't been for a while now. I haven't been behind this for a while. Even though feminism has accomplished many great things in the past, I won't ignore that. I will acknowledge that they have done incredible things in the past, amazing things, such as women's right to vote, more access to education, the right to initiate divorce proceedings, the right to access contraceptives and abortions, the right for women to own property, of course, giving women choices outside of the household, creating a more equal work environment, et cetera, right? Et cetera. But attacking the male gaze and attempting to erase all things catered to heterosexual men is not only wrong, but extremely hypocritical. It is extremely hypocritical. And if you know me by now, if you know my channel by now, or from what little my channel has, but that's one of my issue, my pet peeves, I guess you could say, is hypocrisy. I do not like hypocrisy. And I'm not talking about hypocrisy, examples of that, like, oh, if someone tells me that, hey, smoking's bad for you, you should not smoke, but then they smoke a cigarette in front of me telling me that. I don't give a shit about that kind of hypocrisy. Yeah, technically they're being hypocritical, but that's not the kind of hypocrisy I give a shit about. Because the thing that they're telling me is bad, I mean, they're not telling me not to do it if I don't smoke, but they're not telling me not to do it, or they're not saying cigarettes should be banned. I still have the freedom to buy a pack of cigarettes if I want, but they're not trying to say we should ban it while they're smoking it. They're just saying, they're just giving objective facts. Yeah, this thing that I'm doing to myself is terrible. And if you were to do it to your own body, it would also be terrible for your body. But I choose to do it for myself. They're saying one thing and then doing another, but they're not saying it should be taken away from others. You know, it's something they do, some small thing that they're doing for themselves and to themselves. I don't care about that kind of hypocrisy. The type of hypocrisy that really gets on my gears is, is, you know, stuff like this, where you engage in the thing you're telling other people not to do, even if it's in a different form, but technically the same. You know, it's partaking in something while trying to get it banned or trying to censor, you know, being pro-censorship, even if it's indirectly, or banning things. That's the kind of hypocrisy I am not all about, and that I do tend to call out if I see it. But anyways, guys, that's my video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And Happy New Year. Happy 2021. Hopefully it won't be a shit show, but if it is, oh well. You know, as long as, yeah. As long as you're good, boo, it can be a good year for you, you know, if you stay positive enough. Yeah, anyways, bye. Have a good one.